Live from Central Pennsylvania, this is CBS 21 News at 6.
Happy Valley has a reason to celebrate tonight as 112 football victories swept away in the Jerry Sandusky scandal have now been restored. We have team coverage of this decision tonight. Glad you're with us at 6. I'm Rob Hanrahan.
And I'm Sherry Christian in for Tanya Foster tonight. Now this comes after a lawsuit between state leaders and the NCAA.
So let's start our team coverage with CBS 21's Donna Kirker-Morgan, who joins us live with why this is not being called a settlement. Donna.
Yes, today at the state capitol, Senator Jake Corman said this was a surrender. He says he has not ended this litigation with the NCAA with a settlement, instead a complete repeal of the agreement that cost Penn State 112 football victories, scholarships, and bowl games. Cameras lined up at the Capitol Media Center after this senator promised big news in his legal fight against the National Collegiate Athletic Association, and he delivered.
This is a total repeal of the consent decree.
This means Joe Paterno and the university will regain 112 football wins taken away by the NCAA because of the Sandusky child sex abuse scandal. Already, bowl games and scholarships have been returned. Now the program is also off probation.
This is akin to the mercy rule. Clearly they were way behind in the case, and they didn't wish to continue it, and so they gave in.
Senator Jake Corman represents State College and sued the NCAA, questioning whether it had the legal authority to impose the sanctions against the football program after the revelations of former defensive coach Jerry Sandusky's abuse of young boys.
They quickly proceeded outside their own rules and bylaws to come to this judgment.
Corman does not downplay the seriousness of the Sandusky scandal, calling it a horror. And as part of his agreement, Penn State will still pay $60 million to reduce child abuse, but that money stays in Pennsylvania.
And this money will go a long way to hopefully educate not only us, but in helping victims so this never happens again. So I'm not here to exonerate anyone, but I am here to say due process matters.
Corman says this is a great victory for the Penn State nation with journalistic transparency out there. I am a member of that. Of course, I am thrilled as well. I saw many of those games that Joe Paterno won, and it's good to see they are back on the books. Reporting live in Harrisburg, Donna Kirker-Morgan, CBS 21 News.
All right, Donna, thank you. We're following a lot of reaction on this decision. Tonight we're hearing from Sue Paterno and her thoughts on today's developments. She was pleased with what happened, but says the work is not finished.
And we're going to still keep looking for the truth to get everything right for everybody, because we still have Tim, Gary, and Graham that have to be exonerated in all this. And thank you to all the Penn Staters and to Jake Corman, because they've made this happen. We are passionate with them. So it's a great day for Penn State.
Of course, Sue Paterno isn't the only one reacting tonight.
CBS 21's Lara Greenberg is in State College talking to people there, and the people she spoke to tell us that they're excited about what this means for the school and the Penn State football program. Many say Joe Paterno deserves to have his wins count because he did do a lot for the school and the program. One fan told us he never thought this day would come, but he sure is glad it did.
We're excited that Joe Paterno is going to get his wins back. It's going to be awesome. He should. He deserves it. He wasn't part of all that. Big time. It'll restore the history. It'll restore the whole community. It'll bring it back. Bring it back to life.
Overall, a good day for Penn State fans who now can once again call Joe Paterno the winningest coach in college football.
Now, this is the latest NCAA sanction to be lifted against Penn State. Football scholarships were restored back in September of 2013, and a bowl ban was lifted back in September of last year. That $60 million fine to fund anti-child abuse efforts remains in place, though. But a judge upheld an earlier ruling this past week that the money would stay in Pennsylvania.
So Senator Corman says the NCAA has actually surrendered. Will it now just throw in the towel for good?
Will any of its future enforcements mean anything? CBS 21 Sports Director Jason Bristol's in the studio after looking into this part of the story. Jason.
And Sherry, had the NCAA stuck to sports, Joe Paterno might not be getting his wins back, at least not today. However, by settling, it's clear now that the NCAA has to stick to the on-the-field and player eligibility stuff. That is the opinion of Jason Reimer, a lawyer from Post & Shell in Harrisburg. That $60 million fine, which was unprecedented, made the NCAA vulnerable. Otherwise, the wins, the recruiting sanctions, the bowl ban, that all fits under the NCAA's umbrella. But that fine, the fine opened the door.
Without the $60 million fine, I'm not sure you would have saw the settlement today. That was the linchpin to settle it. So I think the NCAA future enforcement actions are going to have to be limited to actual football recruiting, basketball recruiting, grade violation, things they probably should have been focused on from the beginning.
Yet it's also interesting to note the NCAA still hasn't done anything to the University of North Carolina, which is home to possibly the worst academic fraud scandal in college sports history. Rob?
All right, Jason, we know this is not the end of this story. Stay with CBS 21 News for continuing coverage of this decision on air, on our website, cbs21.com, and of course follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Major happenings happening on this Friday, and that's right, it is Friday, so we're watching the weekend forecast.
And that's it.